Hello and welcome to the first episode of this new series I'm going to be doing. So, as you've guessed by the title, I'm going to be discussing today's transfer rumours, and today is the 27th of January. So I've started this a bit late in the transfer window, with 4 days remaining. I think it closes on the 31st. But from these 4 days, hopefully I will do a daily review of the day's confirmed transfers and also some of the bigger rumours. So to start off with, we are going to go with Pato to Chelsea, who has just arrived in London to finalise that deal. It's a loan deal with the option to buy. I think is around 10 million if he does well. So my thoughts on that transfer is he used to be a good player when he was AC Milan. Obviously got a lot of problems with injuries, and I think that could hinder him. Well, it's definitely hindered his development so far as a player. If he carried on to be the player he was at Milan, that would be a good signing for Chelsea, but I think it's highly unlikely as he's been in Brazil, which the standard isn't as high, so he won't really be used to that kind of football. I don't think he will do particularly well, but obviously he's not a first choice player at the moment. He's just been brought in for backup, which allows Loic Remy to leave potentially to Palace, Leicester, West Ham, Newcastle, a couple of clubs interested in him, which I think is unfair on Remy. I think he's done quite well when he's been brought in with Costa being injured or banned or dropped. I think he's done quite well in the absence of Costa. He scored quite a few goals, so I don't think he's done that badly. I don't really know why they're trying to get rid of him and replace him with Pato, as Pato is certainly a risk. It could pay off. There's definitely potential for him to do well because he has had a previous track record of being a great player. But moving on to Andros Townsend, moving to Newcastle for 12 million, just completed the medical a couple of hours ago. I'm not too sure about this one once again. Andros Townsend, he's had a couple of, well, maybe around about 10 really good games mainly for England, really. He first of all delivered 2 goals, I think it was, against Montenegro. I went to that game at Wembley. One he cut in from the edge of the box and scored a great goal. I can't remember the other one. It could have been no, there was a penalty in that game that wasn't from Townsend, but I'm pretty sure he scored 2 goals in that game. And after that game, he became a first team regular in the Tottenham team, and once again, most of his goals came from cutting inside. He definitely is good at cutting inside, but he rarely does go on the outside. So defenders get to know what he's going to be doing, and it is normally cut inside. But if he can get past the defender and get inside and get a shot away, it's normally a very good shot. But the move to Newcastle for 12 million, quite an expensive one. I know a couple of clubs were looking at him in the summer but decided against getting him. So for Newcastle to come in need of good players to get them out of this relegation battle, which they certainly are in, it's going to need a couple more players, maybe. I think in the defence primarily, but maybe a striker needs signing. But anyway, back to Townsend. I think it is definitely like Pato, has the potential to be a good deal, but I can't see it working out too well. So moving on to Ramirez, who's gone to a Chinese team called Jiangsu Suning. I've completely messed that pronunciation up, but once again, well, not once again, a league I don't know much about. I don't think it's certainly a developing league. There are some big players moving there. Paulinho, Demba Ba, and Tim Cahill all went in the summer, and in January, Javinho. Well, obviously, Ramirez has just gone, and there was one other player, I can't remember who it was, who was also just gone over. But yeah, it's certainly an emerging league. I guess money is attracting them there, but they've bought him for 25 million, which is a huge sum of money for Ramirez. I think he's a good player, but he's not worth that much. But they were always going to have to spend a decent amount of money to get him from Chelsea. Not even though he wasn't a first team player, he was certainly a squad rotation player. He was in the team under Mourinho at the start of the season, but since Hiddink has come in, he's kind of phased him out, and he hasn't been involved much at all. But I think for 25 mil, it was the right decision to sell him. But if it was less than that, maybe 20, I think they probably should have kept him because, well, like I said, he is a squad player. Who else have they got in the central mid? They've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who is the only other backup centre mid I can think of to play if either Matic, Fabregas, Mikel gets injured. But I am probably missing some out there. This is just off the top of my head. But so yeah, we've done well to get 25 million. Moving on, Tim Howard is in talks with an MLS club believed to be Colorado Rapids. This is probably, if it does go through, probably going to go through in the summer. I don't rate Tim Howard at all. I know a lot of Everton fans also don't rate him, but there are also some general Premier League fans, the support of the clubs, that remember him for his top saves he made, and they don't realise that he doesn't really make those kind of saves anymore. So people still rate him just on past playing experience, but he's certainly got a lot worse with age. He's a player I used to like. Well, I still like him. I don't think he's particularly good anymore. I don't know why he hasn't been dropped yet. He's making mistakes constantly. For example, against Swansea, he gave away a penalty. But yeah, I definitely think it is time for him to move on, and maybe thinking about dropping him and playing Joel Robles over him. But moving on to another potential transfer, this time Joel Matip may be on his way to Liverpool. So he's got 6 months left on his contract. I'm not too sure if they're looking at bringing him in 6 months early for a cheaper fee or getting for free in the summer. Either way, Liverpool definitely do have problems with their defence conceding goals. For example, last night against Stoke, Arnautovic's goal was absolutely shocking defending for Liverpool. Never should have happened, and so many more occasions like that have happened previously this season. So I do think they certainly do need a central defender. And Joel Matip, I don't know too much about him. Cameroon, plays for Schalke. He's very tall, so from the tall aspect, I think that is important to have like a big, commanding defender in the central defence, kind of shore up that back four. But apart from that, I'm not too sure about him. But I think this will be a good deal if it goes through. Definitely gives Liverpool more squad depth in that defensive area, even though they do have quite a lot of defenders at the moment in the central defensive position. None of them particularly good, but I definitely think Matip will be a good option. And finally, rumour going around, I think this was highly unlikely, RVP to Chelsea. I think this was if Pato didn't sign, which he has, so I'm not going to spend long on this one. But yeah, he's been linked with Chelsea. Fenerbahce manager or president of the club, or whatever it's called, has come out and said that it would take a huge offer for him to leave. He is apparently unhappy at Fenerbahce, but I don't think he would work well at Chelsea. He's past it now. Is he 34, 33? Maybe he's around about that, but I certainly think he is past it and too old for the Premier League standards, as proved last season with Manchester United. But that is going to be the end of this first episode of potential transfers, or, well, I don't know what I'm going to call it, but something like that. So if you have enjoyed, leave a like. If you have any ideas or any feedback, please leave them in the comments. That would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you're new around here, and goodbye.